Hello there. My name is Michael, and my online sobriquet is at A Man in a Mouse. When I started reading about the lives and careers of Phil Black, Jean Malin, Julian Elting, Gladys Bentley, Carol Norman, Bert Savoy, Mae West, Ray Burbank, Ma Rainey, Dwight Fisk, Bruce Fletcher, Barbette, and all the other queer and allied performers of the early 20th century who dared to live their lives without societal restraints, I thought to myself, someone needs to write a musical about these folks. Then I thought, you're a writer. How difficult can it be? That was 15 years and 3 readings ago. And now, the Pansy Craze musical, book and lyrics by myself, music by Stewart, is ready, is right where it needs to be. And where is that? Ready for our first week-long workshop in New York City. The issue as we move forward producing this workshop is how the f are we supposed to do this? As Stewart and I figure it out, I'll be posting about our progress and revealing details about the queers of historical significance who entertained New York City during Prohibition and inhabit the world of our musical, The Pansy Craze. So if fabulous musical theater and queer history is something you find compelling, follow me.
I will follow him.
I'm a pansy, you're a pansy, we're all pansies. Hi, I'm Michael, and my online sobriquet is at A Man in a Mouse. What is a pansy? An effeminate man. Mavis Funk Whistle, a cisgender ally in the Pansy Craze musical, describes a pansy as someone who wears rouge, powder, lipstick, keeps their bottle blonde hair longish. In the Roaring Twenties, the fancies, rich white people, had been traveling up to Harlem to be entertained by black folks in places like the Cotton Club. By 1930, the Nancies meet the fancies in Times Square speakeasies when so-called pansy entertainers from Greenwich Village are hired to entertain. The pansies were attempting to build a life for themselves in a society that berates and ignores them. So, of course, they take up the challenge, and for a brief shining moment, they were the rage in New York City highlife and nightlife. But as so often happens with the queer community, the rug was soon pulled out from under their heels. Our musical, The Pansy Craze, is the story of the resilience of these gender fluid and racially diverse people. Remember their names: Phil Black, Jean Malin, Carol Norman, Gladys Bentley, and Julian Elting.
I'll remember.
Hi, I'm Michael, and my online sobriquet is at A Man in a Mouse. The life of Phil Black takes center stage in The Pansy Craze. Phil, an African-American from Pittsburgh, describes herself as a woman who inverts society's idea of what a man must be. Phil's grandmother, a former slave, is strong enough herself to give Phil the confidence and the tools in the form of sewing skills that Phil needs to live her life as she chooses. After winning a cakewalk contest and touring the States in a minstrel show, Phil moves to Harlem when she begins sewing dresses and suits for hommes and femmes living the nightlife during the Harlem Renaissance. Looking for a way to increase her income, Phil throws rent parties and finally has saved enough dough and built a big enough reputation to rent out the Rockland Palace for the only one Erotics, Exotics, Neurotics, Inverts, and Queers Ball. Yes, I said the only one Erotics, Exotics, Neurotics, Inverts, and Queers Ball. The success of the Only One Ball leads to Phil producing a floor show for the Speakeasy Club Abbey called The Pansy Craze. But shit does tend to happen when the queer community tries to live our lives as we choose, and shit's going to be thrown at Phil that she never thought possible. But The Pansy Craze is a story about resilience, and one of the many things Phil is resilient.
Atta girl.
Hello there, I'm Michael, and my online sobriquet is at A Man in a Mouse. Jean Malin is the face of the Pansy Craze. Born into a large Polish family in Brooklyn, Jean grew into a 6-foot-tall, 200-pound bruiser with a lisp and an attitude. A teenage Jean finds work on Broadway as a chorus boy, but is considered too effeminate. So he puts on a dress and starts to compete in the Greenwich Village drag balls of the Roaring Twenties. From there, he develops a following and starts performing in clubs for $10 a week. It's then that Jean meets Phil and the two become fast friends. On his journey to Club Abbey, Jean ditches the gown, puts on a tuxedo, and transforms into a pansy, an exaggerated switching man whose act revolves around his sexuality. One night, as legend has it, Jean and Entourage wander into a cafeteria, only to be heckled by four rough-looking birds who toss a pitcher of water. Malin dives into them, beating three and senseless. The fight falls out into the street. A taxi driver comes to the assistance of the surviving member, and the entourage calms Jean, who cries, "Yes, I won the fight, but look at the disgraceful state my gown is in." This queen has balls. Hello, my name is Michael, and my online sobriquet is @AmanandAMouse. Picture it, Billy Porter, Black Mona Lisa Tour 2023. Stuart and I, writer and composer of the Pansy Craze, drop off roses to Pops at the stage door. Wrapped around the roses are 5 pages, including character descriptions, song titles, and scene notes, plus this. Billy's in the dressing room, putting on stockings and smoking a cigar. Some roses for you. Oh, I love roses. What's this thing wrapped around it? I don't know. Billy unwraps it. The Pansy Craze. I've heard of that. Phil Black, Gladys Bentley, Julian Elting, the only one erotics, exotics, and erotics, inverts, and queers ball. You think a deviant can't be the chief exec? This queen has balls. Who wrote this? I don't know. Who gave you this? Some stage door Johnny. There's a phone number. Hand me my phone.
Honey, everything's coming up. Roses for me and for you.